Good morning to everybody, and it's been a real honor to be here today. I would like to first start with thanking my co-guests here, Mr. Shanmugasundaram sir, former MP, Mr. Rajashekar sir, District Governor, proudly my District Governor, and Mr. Ramkumar sir from Spectroplast MD, and all the guests over here. And more importantly, I would like to address each one of the trainers here as alchemist, right? So you're turning metal into gold, right? Simple as that. Thank you. So I think, and congratulations to Mr. Prabhu and his team for IBTC, being pioneered here today, along with the third year anniversary celebration of Namada Vanigam. So I think it's a real proud moment for me to be here. I'll tell you a couple of things, right? And I took notes when Mr. Shanmugasundaram sir and Ramkumar sir and Rajashekar sir were actually talking. A couple of things came to my mind, right? We all talk about transformation, yeah? I'll give you a simple real-life scenario that we experienced, and maybe we can do it as a more engaging conversation. So this was a client based in Middle East, and we were called upon to meet the client and talk to them about their transformation journey. So in the room, we had the CHRO, the CFO, the COO, and I think the CEO as well, right? One of the first things that they said, and this is a huge consumer packaging goods company in the Middle East, and they are a family-run business for so many decades. So the first thing that they said is, we want to transform entire business, okay? And they said, we'll start with finance, accounting, HR, supply chain, marketing, all of it. And the requirement was, they want to move away from legacy systems into SAP. That's all. That's the requirement, right? Now, all my sales leads, solutioning architects, they started working on putting a solution together, right? And I stopped them. I said, don't do anything now, right? I would like to have a conversation. So I walked onto the floor, the shop floor where work is being delivered. Just a finance guy. He's a team lead. He knows that there is something happening. And I called upon him and I said, tell me, what do you understand about this transformation? He said, from today, today we are on, X system. From 6 months or 3 months down the line, we are going to be working on SAP. I said, you lost the battle right there. I went to the CFO and I said, I will not take up this project now. He was like, why? I said, the team leader who delivers the work through his team does not understand that this is not a project where it moves from one system to another system. It is a project which is transforming the way they work, which means there should be a mindset shift, right? I think as trainers and coaches, one of the most important thing for us all to bring in is the mindset shift, right? I'll talk about, concluding that conversation, we had to go back and reinforce to each and every people in the organization what is changing, why is it changing, how is it impacting, and what are the benefits. And that's when everybody bought on to the topic. Everybody was on board fully on aligning, with the vision that the CFO had, because the CFO was the sponsor of the program. Now, the most important couple of things which I wanted to talk about when it comes to transformation, right? Because, and I keep repeating this word transformation because each trainer, each coach here is transforming. My only humble submission and request to you all will be, keep only one thing in your mind. Don't try to transform everything and everybody, right? One mind at a time, right? That's the most important thing, because that brings in a lot of change, right? Because transforming their mindset helps them achieve clarity in their goals, confidence in their capabilities, right? Courage to take decisions and commitment to actions, right? And as a trainer, as a coach, your role is A, B, and C, right? A, you are the architect of the mindset. The reason I am saying this is because we need to reconstruct how people think, right? That's the most important thing. Oftentimes what happens is they are caught up in the past ways of working, ways of thinking. They cannot see what the future is. So recently I was there in one of the colleges, and I pulled up a student and I asked him, what do you want to do in life, right? And he said, I don't know, right? And I said, why do you don't know? Because he said, no, I have my friend doing this, the other friend is doing that, my uncle does this, my nephew does this, my cousin does this. He went on with a list of things. I said, what do you want to do? He did not have the clarity. And the reason why he didn't have that clarity, the biggest problem in today's world, all of us, we need to keep this in mind, especially for the younger generation, is the constant need for validation and comparison, right? They keep comparing themselves with others. They keep trying to getting validation. And yeah, of course, thanks to social media, which only says whether you like or dislike, or a heart symbol, and then you're done with your validation, right? So they keep thinking on those lines. They don't know what they want, right? That's the reason why I address this gathering as an alchemist, because you guys have including me, right, have the responsibility, not the authority, but the responsibility to change that metal into gold, right? So that's why I said architects of mindset. A, behavioral strategists, right? What happens in most cases is there's a lot of motivation to get started with doing something, right? Even it applies to us also, right? Tomorrow morning we'll see some video, we'll get motivated, we'll say, okay, from tomorrow I'll hit the gym at any cost. 2 days and then we are done. We don't even look at the gym membership after that. That is because we lack discipline and consistency, right? However hard it is, you need to show up, right? We need to cultivate this quality in the youth, saying however hard it is, they need to show up. Even if they can't make it the entire day of training, 1 hour of training, 10 minutes of learning, come and learn, right? Because it all starts with that spark, and then it gets, the continuum happens, right? The third, C, stands for cultural and emotional coach. And the reason I am saying this today is, half of the youth today, they don't even talk anything with their parents. They put their heads down, that's the mobile phone, they keep moving from one reel to another, or on WhatsApp, talking to, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, and that's it, end of story. But we need to act as that cultural coach and emotional coach. I'll tell you why cultural coach. Emotional coach, at least everybody will say, yeah, I understand, but why culture? Today what happens, no? And I hope it is okay for me to be bilingual as well, right? So, immediately, when they get into that corporate, right, the youth are not able to understand how to handle certain things, right? They are good in their academics, let's say, right? We also train them on soft skills like, presentation, communication, body language. Great, all that is there. Emotional intelligence, they lack. What they also lack is how to handle ethical dilemma, right? I asked this question in one other college where I said, let's say you and your friend both have joined a same company, same department, and both of you are working, right? Apparently you are the team lead and your friend is a team member. The friend has committed a big mistake in writing a number right? In let's say a profit and loss account or a balance sheet, whatever, right? A report. He or she has added 1 zero additionally, which is going to change the entire way the numbers look, right? Now, you found out that that is an error. How are you going to deal with it, right? So the girl said, I'm going to let it go. I will talk to my friend. I'll say this is the first time. Let us not do it. We'll change the numbers and then resend the report, right? I said that is absolutely not the right ethical way of working, right? Because you're putting your friendship in the front and you're trying to, keep up the relationship, but at the same time, ethically, you're going to change the number and then report it. The report has already gone to the boss. He or she is going to ask, why is this report coming again with a different number, right? So what is the right thing to do here? They don't know, right? So as trainers and coaches, our responsibility is to also explain to them how to handle such things of ethical dilemma, right? There's another thing, right? And this happened in our organization where we had brought in people from different parts of the country, and we brought in at least about 15 students, just freshers out of college, to be part of a client delivery team. And when the entire gang of 15 students, they came from a all men college, right? No co-education, nothing, right? So the minute they came to Bangalore, and you can imagine the culture shock coming from, some remote village in Tamil Nadu or even in Karnataka, and coming to a city like Bangalore, which is full of cosmopolitan way of living. They couldn't handle how to meet, talk to women, right? Understand what happened, because there it is very common for a woman to, walk up to you and say, put hand on your shoulders and say, hey, what are you doing, right? The team of these 15 students were ganging up in one particular place, and they were saying, that girl is coming and talking down, this girl is coming and talking down, I don't know how to react. They don't know how to react, right? For them, Anirudh and G.V. Prakash and everybody's music is going on in the background when that girl is coming and talking to them, right? But they are not able to understand that that is a culture. The Tamil Nadu culture is totally different, right? Karnataka, Bangalore culture will be different, right? So the cultural coach is something that as trainers we need to give them that psychological safety. That's a very important concept in corporates today. Psychological safety is important, which means whatever you cannot talk to your parents, your brothers, sisters, you can come and talk to me. I am not going to judge you based on what you are saying, right? Now, that is the role of us as trainers and coaches. And there are just those 4 key pillars, right? What we need to do. One is we need to create that awareness, because half of the youth today are sitting in, the dream world. They don't know what is the reality until it hits them. The second is alignment, right? They are not aligned to their vision. They have a dream, but they don't know how to get it, like how Ramkumar sir said, right? They don't know how to realize that vision. They are just dreamers. Trainers and coaches are the people who bridge that gap between dream and realization of the dream, right? And action. We are the ones who help build that accountability in them to say that they need to take accountability of their actions and stand up for it. And adaptability, because today in the corporate world, everything is about agile. There is no way you can, sit pretty, do your work, one thing at a time, no way. Because there are 10 things that are thrown at us, we will have to deliver, and there are 10 different ways in which that output is being asked, and there are 10 different people who are asking, right? So if the youth of today don't know how to deal with ambiguity and agility, they will fail, right? That's the fourth pillar. And I think we spoke about ethical dilemma and all of that, right? Culture orientation as well. But there's another important point which also most often is forgotten. And trainers and coaches are the ones who can actually start doing this, which is early finance management, right? You see, the problem today is, like I said, we are so much into validation and comparison that today when a youth lands up in a high paying job, let's say 25,000-30,000 rupees per month, the first thing they do is, if it is a boy, it's very stereotypical, I'm so sorry for it, but if it is a boy, they buy a bike, and if it is a girl, they'll buy, a mobile phone, something, right, whatever. But they don't know anything about how do you go about investing in SIPs or mutual funds or shares, no knowledge at all. And by the time they realize, they would have already lost so much of money in all these non-value added things, right? So while as trainers and coaches, we all focus on soft skills and multiple other areas, one area is also to talk about financial well-being and mental well-being, right? Because stress management, multitasking, feedback, right? One biggest problem in today's youth is you call them and say that you have not done well here, they will not be able to receive that feedback in a constructive way. However constructive we give them the feedback, they are not able to understand. They take it very personal and they take extreme steps. I'll give you statistics. Overall, I think I was reading this article where about 10 lakh students graduate every year. Out of that, only 45% are employable, which means you can imagine, right? 4,50,000 is what is employable in the country. Out of that, only 25% get employed. And out of the 25% who get employed, 20% of them quit during the first year of employment. Because they cannot take feedback, because they cannot handle emotion, there is no emotional intelligence in them. They get thrown out for posh related issues, right? Because of culturally they are not aligned. Culturally they don't know how to manage these things, right? So this is our sweet spot, right? Because there is a academia and there is a industry, corporate, MNC, whatever you want to call it. But there is a gap between these two, and that's the sweet spot for the trainers and coaches. That gap is very huge today, right? Be it the curriculum is, that's a different topic, we can talk about it, saying how is the curriculum in today's world, is it in line with what the industry expects? It's a separate topic for discussion. But preparing between the time they are out of the gate of that college to entry into a corporate or any company and sustaining that organization, growing in that organization is the most difficult part in today's world, right? I think if we coaches and trainers can focus on how you can work on that sweet spot and enable sustainability, not just an entry into corporate or, that is where there will be a big difference in my view, right? So, I just want to thank each one of you for the time that you have given me, and once again, congratulations, Prabhu and team. Great job, and thank you very much for the opportunity.